Uh, I I'm sorry about this. This is the worst thing. It's just that hmm, is this guy? I don't know. What do you think about this? This is insane.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I can't say that I'd handle it any better than anyone else. I mean, personally, for me, uh, eh, I don't know. You have two different things you have to balance. Shutting everything down, keeping people home, but also making sure that these people continue to get paid. And you can, I guess, like there should be like certain um, policies put in place so that if people can't work, that at the very least they have adequate like healthcare coverage and money to support their just to support themselves being home and paying rent at the very least. So I think those are two things that I wish we had, so that at the very least, if we were able to like shut everything down, um, people can don't have to lose their mind over like making sure things are going to be okay while everything's shut down. On the other end, businesses do need to run and keep themselves up, and uh, and that's also an issue. It's hard. With that also being said, you wonder how much is even being done right now because people are still outside interacting with other people in parks and whatnot.
Yeah, I actually remember
Um,
like watching this news broadcast where all the way in Florida there are like beaches where young people are talking and being with each other, and that is not a good place to do such thing when a is going on.
yeah, I I don't think people understand the reason why like this is as big of a deal as it is. It's not more so me like I don't know. A lot of people are very egotistical in a sense that they're more concerned about themselves rather than what it like a perfectly normal, healthy human being can have this, be asymptomatic, and not know they have it at all over the course of them even having it, and then passing it off to someone else. And I think that's what people aren't understanding. And then not only that, I don't think there's as much info being brought out to light about the virus itself. I hear that it can remain airborne for a few hours from someone who exhales um, that has it. Touching things, it can survive on surfaces for I don't know how many hours, but for a certain length of time.
Actually, I
And I
heard it was
think
like
that's
sorry, I heard it was like 14 or 19 hours to about like a couple of days, I think.
yeah, certainly like a significant amount of time, relatively speaking. Um, And yeah, the fact that you may not show symptoms at all. It takes up to 14 days. That seems to be the general consensus, although I've read somewhere that it could take up to 21 days. So the fact that you have it can spread it, not know you have it until you finally feel sick within 2 weeks. Or again, you may be asymptomatic. You may not have any symptoms. This thing could be in you and you don't know it, and you get over it without knowing it. But and you think you're negative all this time, but you've been like touching things, and I think that's the or rather, maybe not misunderstanding, but I guess underestimated part of it is just having having it and not knowing you have it, and then just continuing to live, you know, your life, even when you're following like the precautions. It's just you're you think you're negative, so you do certain things a little differently than if you were sick like you're more like, oh, I need to like really like keep to myself. And even then, there's probably sick people I don't follow like the rules to a T as much. And it's all very like again egotistical. It's very focused on the self and not thinking about others. um, Not thinking about the best ways to handle everything. And I think that's where the big problem is. It's very egotistical. You're not like whether you're infected with it or not. And again, it's very hard to tell, especially in such a densely packed city. I'm pretty sure everyone has it, um, or at least has been in contact with it, and they should uh, approach the situation as such that perhaps you may be asymptomatic, may not show symptoms, may have it, and never really get sick. However, you can spread it. And the idea of this exponential chain reaction where you don't know you have it, you never get sick, you give it to people, then they give it to people. It could be a whole chain reaction of healthy people who will never exhibit symptoms over the course of the virus being in them. And I think that's the part. And then just not understanding how the virus spreads. Um, but and again, overall, it's all egotistical, and I don't think go reverting. I know I went off the tangent, but like going back to the question, could have been handled better. Yeah, but I think the better thing is to have better policies put into place, better foundations, so that when things do happen, when we react, there aren't so many adverse negative reactions uh, to that initial reaction to the virus, like when we're trying to protect ourselves. Yeah.
Hmm. All right. I guess we're at the 34-minute mark. Actually, close to 35 minutes. But anyways, let's go and drop by the final segment, the Once in a While segment, and again, we're gonna do this once more because of a recent series of reactions I've seen, and we're doing Animaniacs again. Animaniacs again. Before we talk about this part, I had to mention that I was watching on YouTube and I found this YouTuber named Susie Liu. She did a couple of reaction videos to episodes of Naruto, and seeing a person with fresh eyes who hasn't seen entirety of a show and what is actually kind of refreshing to see because you get to see legitimate emotions that were not spoiled. And like me and Rob, we weren't spoiled by we were like spoiled by of actual plots before we even see them. Um, and yeah, most notably, yeah, just seeing that YouTuber's reaction to the Save Sasuke arc in the first Naruto series. And yeah, we'll have to talk about it. Anyways, yeah, what do you thought about this arc, by the way?
I think that whole arc, hmm, I don't know. I think it was good. Like, definitely probably the best part in the whole Naruto series. That goes all the way up to Naruto fighting Sasuke, right? Or no? Yeah, it
Yeah,
does. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the series defining arc, is just that whole like chasing down Sasuke thing. I think the first all the episodes prior to that um was just setting up so that it goes to that, like, however many episodes that is, like it goes up to that arc, because you have like so many different like little fights and whatnot going on. Each character on this mission gets a chance to like flex their muscles. Everything seems like life or death. Even with some of the fights, they set them up as if these characters die. And especially all of it culminating into the final fight between Naruto and Sasuke, where they really, at least on one of the episodes, they brought out the a fluid animation team. I don't know what else you would call it. It's usually you can tell that there's an animation style difference between like the normal episodes of Naruto and then the fighting scenes. Fighting scenes seem to be a little less detailed, a little less colored. But by less colored, I mean like they're like flatter colors and not emphasizing like coloring and shadows
Mhm.
and whatnot. But the action, the choreography is really well done. The the animation solid for a fighting scene, or rather for like a fighting episode, because the whole like episode was like either fighting or a flashback, and then they'll talk to each other like once or twice. It was dope. I think the arc was series defining, um, and probably the best arc until you get the Shippuden,
Right.
to a
Uh,
certain part in Shippuden.
yeah. When the arc really first starts with the fight between Naruto and Sasuke on top of that rooftop. Uh, that's where the arc officially starts and arts and it's actually what a catalyst to having like Sasuke be jealous of Naruto at that point. And I don't necessarily call it jealousy, but he just like gets pissed off when he sees that their son gun like obliterates the backside of that water tower, or and it's actually quite interesting. Hmm. It led to him wanting to go to Orochimaru and wanting to defeat and wanting to gain like more power to best him. You know, what do you think?
Um, Wait, repeat that.
I said that the first like the arc really starts with the fight between Naruto and Sasuke on top of a rooftop, and
Yeah,
and that actress and he's trying to prove that he can act. The two of them wants to prove how are just trying to prove who's the better person right there. And before that, and then and then afterwards, Sasuke meets the Sound Four, and actually decides to join with them. Hmm.
really, the Sound Four meets with him.
Well,
Okay, I said, "Or really, the Sound Four meets with him."
yeah, that's the name I've heard actually, but this is before what?
Oh no, the only reason why I bring it up is because like they showed up specifically to like pick him up.
Yeah, they picked them up, and before they do, who say this person, the person I'm talking about who watched this arc, Susie Liu, she she actually started crying when Sasuke was talking to Sakura, and that happened. Later on, the arc really he starts picking up when Shikamaru starts choosing the team members. Hers